Early position this time. Raise to 80. 3 callers. Yeah, it's obviously a good flop for us. We hit top pair, top kicker, and we're gonna bet it. And again, against bad players, you don't have much choice but to go with it. It is pretty annoying if somebody comes over the top of you, because there's just not, you wouldn't expect king queen or king jack to play it super aggressively. You'd expect it to be twos or sevens, a lot, maybe spades, but because bad players do things that they shouldn't do, you probably can't get away from it. Now, if a good player does that, it's going to be really annoying. Unless you have a read that they mess with you, you probably have to let it go. And in this hand, don't know these first two guys. This guy plays quite a bit and seems pretty good. So I'm hoping he folds and the other guys go with it. And those two guys fold and he calls, which is a pretty scary proposition to me. I mean, I raised an early position. Presumably he's aware of me as I'm aware of him. So I wouldn't think he's got any other kings, king, queen, king, jack. But I raised early position, bet into 3 people. He's got to think I've got a hand. So I would think if I was him, if I had a set of 2s and 7s, he would just raise it up right now. But I suspect he could still call with those. I suspect he could have some flush draws, maybe ace queen of spades, something like that. I'm not sure he should be even calling with that. Not a lot makes sense, quite frankly, and I don't have that much experience with him deep post flop. Unless you play with a guy a lot in 9-man games, that's often the case because you're both playing fairly tight. So I just check it to him on the turn, kind of to see what he does. I'm not necessarily giving up, but I'm also really not liking the situation very much. I still think I might be getting trapped by a set, a decent amount, and he checks back. So now the spade comes on the river, and I just really don't see what I'm beating. I mean, maybe he calls me with king queen before the flop. I mean, he shouldn't. I mean, he is on the button, and he had 2 other players in the hand. Maybe that's, they're weaker players, or knows that, and maybe that's more reason to do it. I guess you could maybe justify something like that. So I didn't know whether to bet this small, or just to check it and hope to showdown. It's just a really weird sit and go reg versus reg type of spot that doesn't come up probably in any other form of poker very much. It looks really, really nitty, and he may have the same hand I do too, I guess, which is probably the most common thing here. He's not, ace king. It wouldn't be uncommon for him not to re-raise against an early position raiser, and he'd be thinking all the same things I'm thinking about his hand once I bet into 3 people on that flop. So I just select to check it, and if he bombs it, it's probably his. He just checks back, and yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. He has king jack suited. I mean, again, I guess you could justify it if the other 2 guys, if he knows they're bad, or maybe just being unknown is good enough. Quite frankly, though, he's really, I mean, he probably shouldn't be calling that flop even. I mean, I don't think I'm betting jacks or queens or something like that in this spot. I mean, maybe an ace queen suited that has a flush draw or something. I don't know. It's sort of an odd hand. I mean, I think you can only justify his play, and maybe he doesn't know me as well as I would have expected him to as well. So, me personally, I'd probably fold that to an early position raiser that I had any inkling was not super crazy anyway. But